Welcome back, Jay. Tell me, has there been, it's probably been a number, but has there been a most challenging experience that you've had that you could recall that really made an impact for you?
It defined me, yes. In my 20s, I fired an employee, the first employee I ever fired in my career. And she went home and hung herself. And probably the most gracious act any human being's ever done for me was her mother, who was grieving, heard that I was too, and came to explain to me that everything was going on outside, that this wasn't the first attempt, and, you know, and all that. But it really drove me to understand that we have an impact on every human being we meet. And we have the choice to build up and empower or not. And if we look at life that way, life becomes this rich tapestry of lives that we can touch and change. You know, the purpose in life is to have a purpose. My purpose is to empower entrepreneurs to success. I found my purpose. I love what I do. And it's never ending. And so that one, very devastating thing early on has never left me.
That's a tremendous story, and I find that a lot with teachers and a lot of people I meet too, that they most of the time don't get to see what they've done, the impact they've had, but they take such incredible pride that they know each individual, sometimes even a comment at one right time can make a person's life. And it's interesting. I think I'm too long a story, but men more than women. When I interview men, um, they're actually more fragile than women. I find a lot of times that they'll remember a sports thing that happened way back, or something, one little thing that gave them unbelievable confidence for the rest of their life, and they rely on that continuously. Whether the coach put him out on the field in a big play, or they gave the guy the lead in the show, or whatever. I've always find that amazing that it lasts so long in their life to give them the
Well,
confidence.
on that point, in Disrupt You, I talk about what's called the Matthew effect. To those that have much, much is given. So other people have written about it as well, that Canadian hockey, they did a study that all the best players were January, February, March. And it's
Right.
not because astrology, it's because the cutoff of the school year. So when they are, 5 years old and they're now six against 5 year old, they are so physically better that they're the best at sports. And they're told they're really good at hockey. So if you're told you're good, you spend more time and then you get better and better. And by the time you grow up, you're a professional hockey player. But the reverse of that affects everybody, which is 5 years old, we had three reading groups in my school: the Eagles, the Hawks, and the Mud Hens. 5 years old, when you're a Mud Hen, you got the message. You suck, life is limited, you're no good. And all of us were told various things that make us feel that we're not. And those Briggs Meyer tests that say you're wired this way or that way, all complete malarkey.
Yeah.
So the second you can start saying, what am I limiting myself? So just to give you the personal on that sports one, I was told my mom forged my birth certificate to get me out of the house a year early. I was always the smallest, the weakest, the scrawniest. I hated sports, not just didn't have an interest, hated. By the time seventh grade came around and they explained wrestling, state sanctioned beating up of Jay, I could have both shoulders on the mat before the other kid touched me. Okay? Now, I'm now a grown up that follows no sports, has watched no games, watches Super Bowl commercials. That was the day to go to Disneyland, and had really removed from my life something that provides pleasure for most because of a decision at 4 and 5. So when I hit 40, I said, I'm going to confront and disrupt myself. I'm not just limiting my personality, I'm limiting, wanted to say by 40 to have a positive.
I mean, it's thank you for sharing it.
Sure.